So to be a good leader, you need to listen. I think that's been said so many times by very great leaders.
Just another question adding up, like, what's going to happen in this 23rd edition? Like that has not had, happened in the previous 22, versions of this events.
So there's a lot of new things that are happening. Firstly, Google is coming in for the first time in this event.
Oh, nice. I heard someone saying a stupid question is a question that is a no question.
Exactly.
No question is a stupid question.
Absolutely. No question is a stupid because at the end of the day, what is the worst that can happen? I don't know why, but in the last 5-6 years, we've made seeking a job a bad thing. Like people have now said, "Tum entrepreneurship nahi kar, startup nahi bana rahe." It's not a fad, right? It's like you open a startup if you really want to open a startup, not because your friends are doing it.
Exactly.
It's cool, You should go for a startup.
Exactly.
It's cool.
So you shouldn't do that. First of all, you should only open a startup if you have a good product, good idea, you've tested it out, and then do it. She was the first child who went out of Karachi to study. So none of the boys have gone out. So she went to Lahore and Lams, right, and studied there. So we were like, oh my God, you're allowing. So we all supported her.
But I must say, students from Lams are different. You know that. You know that.
Yeah.
नहीं यार मैं बताऊँ I feel
Assalamu alaikum and greeting to everyone who's watching. I hope everyone is doing great and wonderful. This is your host Ahmad Iftikhar from EncycloMedia Hub, and I welcome you to another episode of our podcast session. So moving the mic towards my co-host for today.
Hello. Okay, by the way, my name is Umair Nizam. Since you guys have seen me a lot in the EncycloMedia for like so many episodes. By the way, how are you, Ahmad?
I'm doing great. What about you, Ata?
I'm doing fantastic. Just skipping the class today for my MBA. However,
really?
Yeah,
Did you skip your class for today?
Yeah, dedication, man.
Because today's podcast is really special.
Yes.
Today's podcast is actually for those people, for the youth who's actually trying to do something with their life, trying to come up with startups, trying to come up with technology. So I hope this podcast will give you some knowledge, and I hope that you will learn a lot from this podcast.
Yeah.
And this is what our motive is to actually, invite different type of people over here so they can spread their knowledge. They can whatever they have learned throughout their life, they can share the experience so you people can learn from it. So starting off our podcast, now the person that we have is Umair Nizam. He is actually working with e-commerce Gateway Pakistan for the past 15 years. Now what does e-commerce Gateway Pakistan do? They are exhibition specialists. They actually do exhibitions. They direct and they manage exhibitions. Now there's an exhibition that is known as ITCN Asia, Information Technology Commerce Network, that is happening in Pakistan since past 22 years. Now this conference is coming in Karachi, and this is going to be the 23rd version. Now the dates for this conference is 31st August till 2nd September. Now this conference is actually all about those, it's actually about the investors and companies and people who are actually trying to do something. So let's go ahead and welcome Umair Nizam. He's going to tell us about the conference. He's going to tell us about himself. And so thank you so much, Mr. Umair, for being here, for taking your time. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me here. It's wonderful to be here. And I'm looking forward to a good show.
Thank you.
Same.
So how are you doing? How's everything? How's life? How's stuff?
Alhamdulillah, life's good. We're all geared up for the 23rd edition of ITCN. And life's never been better.
Amazing. So let's just start with some like basic questions, like tell us about your life, like what's going on, like what's your routine nowadays.
Right.
Yeah.
So nowadays, of course, it's all about the event. We have been doing this for the last 23 years, but it never gets old. Always there are new challenges, but we are very happy because this is going to be one of the largest shows that we've ever done.
Amazing.
So life's good this way. A lot of traveling, a lot of meeting new people, which I think is part of the job, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the best thing about the event industry. It's meeting new people from all walks of life, and then connecting with them and having to connect them with different people. So I think that's what's been going on.
All right.
Okay.
Right. So before we move towards the actual exhibition, can you tell us the connection between your company and ITCN?
Right.
Yeah.
So I've been with this company for the last 14 years, and it's been a wonderful journey. We started with ITCN. Now I'm doing also other events as well, which is oil and gas, power technology, but ITCN has always been my favorite show. I'm a bit biased towards it, and that's because the IT industry itself is so vibrant, it's so diverse that you enjoy doing that. So yes, so that's been my journey with this company. Yes.
Okay, so ITCN is one of the exhibitions of Pakistani e-commerce gateway, and that's your favorite one.
Absolutely, yes.
All right, so this particular conference is going to be the 23rd edition.
Yes, this is the 23rd edition, and I think it is the longest running tech show in Pakistan. There has been no other show that has been running for this long. So we are proud of that. And consistency has been one of our fortes in all the events that we do. So all our events are mostly 15, 18, 20, 25 years, 23 years old. So
nice.
this is the 23rd edition of this event, which is the longest running event, I think, in the history of the country. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
So just another question adding up, what's going to happen in this 23rd edition, that has not had happened in the previous 22 versions of this events?
So there's a lot of new things that are happening. Firstly, Google is coming in for the first time in this event.
Oh, nice.
They are going to be launching a e-commerce incubator here.
Oh, the Google
Pakistan.
is. Oh, that's great.
So for Pakistani
That's
companies.
brilliant.
Apart from that, we have a global CIO summit happening, which happens in 50 countries. It's never happened in Pakistan, but it's the first time it's happening in Pakistan in ITCN. So that's a big achievement of ours as well. And cybersecurity is something that is being discussed, regularly with all the different technologies coming out.
Yeah.
So we have a Cyber Guard conference happening where we have discussions on cybersecurity in different sectors, and what happens when you discover the threat, and then how people learn from the threat. So there are a lot of the different discussions happening around that as well. And we have Tech Destination Pakistan, which is basically a slogan the government has coined, the PSCB, Pakistan Software Export Board, has coined to promote Pakistan globally. Whenever we went to exhibitions and events globally, we saw that different countries had their slogans, but Pakistan never had one. But PSCB with the PASHA and the Ministry of IT, they coined this slogan called Tech Destination Pakistan, and now they're promoting that globally and also in the domestic market, so that we all can say the same thing, and branding matters. So they are basically coming in ITCN in a very big way. They're the title partners of the event, and they're also promoting all the possibilities that the PSCB is, all the support that the PSCB is giving for the tech companies to go global.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
By the way, this ITCN, the full name, the full abbreviation is ITCN Asia. So does it take place in Asia, in the different countries of Asia as well, or only Pakistan?
So it happens only in Pakistan currently, but we have done 3 editions in Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
And we are in the process of launching it again in one of the countries. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you the name right now. But yes, it's going to be in the Middle East. It's going to be opening again soon. But right now, the reason for naming it Asia is because we say that Pakistan, we want to declare Pakistan as a regional hub for ICT. And when you say Asia, right, we really mean that. We mean that Pakistan is ideally placed to be that technology hub for the Asian region, right? In the Asian region.
The leader, actually.
The leader, yes. So we have a lot of companies on our left and on our right which are already doing that. But Pakistan is way behind, so we need to catch up. So and we're doing that, and we have a good number of talent that is
Wow.
coming out, which we need to harness, and this is why since 23 years, and this year especially, we have the motto that we say declaring Pakistan the regional ICT hub. And we are focusing on that, and we really believe that in the next few years, Pakistan can be the ICT hub if we do things right.
Okay.
Exactly, inshallah.
Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Before we move forward, if you can tell our viewers about the dates and how can visitors actually visit this exhibition. So can you tell the process to our viewers, so anyone who wants to join this exhibition can?
Absolutely. So the event is from the 31st of August to the 2nd of September at the Karachi Expo Center. People can just go on our website, www.itcnasia.com, register there. It's free entry. There are no charges, and we welcome people from the academia, from the industry, freelancers, everyone to come on board,
Nice.
explore technologies that are there, and of course, form partnerships. So it's completely free to enter, but registration is a must. If you pre-register, it's good that you will not have to register on site, and your entry process will be very fast. It's an all automated process, so it takes about 10 seconds to get your badge once you register online.
Okay.
But if you come on the venue and then you register there, then it's also not a very lengthy process. It's a very quick process, but it takes a little longer than
But
that.
you have to stand in the queue.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And, all right. Apart from the visitors, what about the businesses? If someone is willing to register as a business in your exhibition, so is there any chance? Do we have space left?
So fortunately and unfortunately, we are sold out.
But
So we have about 450 companies participating in this event.
No,
we
that's
have
great.
450 booths, yes. And but of course they can send their interest in. We can look for next year or next edition. We can definitely accommodate them.
And what can we exactly expect from this exhibition? As if I'm standing here, if I come to the exhibition,
Enthusiast.
what can I expect from this exhibition?
I think the best way to summarize it is that you can experience each and every technology that you understand or you know, and you can explore it in a way that you can see demos from it. So, for example, if there is VR is a technology.
Virtual reality,
virtual
yes.
reality.
So, a lot of people are confused. What are the implementations of VR? So, you can see companies, startups, established companies actually implementing VR into daily lives, into your businesses. So you will see the implementation of technology, which I think is the best way to understand how technology can help you. So ITCN basically is that platform where you can see technologies live, test drive them, and then understand how they can help you, your business, or yourself. So that is the best way to summarize it. Yeah.
I'm really glad that Pakistan is actually doing these sort of exhibitions.
Yeah,
and
that's amazing.
Yeah. So talking about the past editions, what was it like? Like how many people did came to the conference? And
right. So we had about 35,000 people come in last year, and in 3 days.
Wow.
And Karachi has always been very, very, very eager to come to an event like this, because I believe that there's a lot to learn, and the best way to do it is to go to events. And globally, exhibitions in itself is basically a platform happening globally. Like in China, there are 26,000 events happening every year, because that is somewhere that people can connect easily with everyone under one roof.
Yeah.
See, you don't have to, for example, even a startup that wants to meet, for example, CIOs of different big companies. They can't. It's a very tedious process if they do it one by one.
Yeah.
But at ITCN, everybody's there.
Yeah.
So you find the entire tech ecosystem under one roof.
Yeah.
So
you can meet a lot of people. You can meet investors. You can get a team over there networking. But it's mandatory for you, for someone, for a startup, even for someone who has just an idea. It's a seed business.
Yeah.
They have to register.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can be an exhibitor if they don't have this. If they don't want to be an exhibitor, they can just visit and do networking there. They visit, be in the conferences, right? So I think there's a lot of networking opportunities there. So what we do is that we understand when a person comes into the event, maybe not everybody can meet each other at the booths, right?
Yeah.
So we have different lounges there. We have the Tech Destination Lounge.
Oh.
We have there's a forum called CXO Global Forum. They have their own networking lounge. Then we have a VIP lounge with the TCN group. So we have 3 different networking lounges at the event where people can network, discuss, talk, and just talk about business. So I think in 3 days we expect a lot of people making new connections and solidifying old ones.
I heard that there are some renowned personalities also coming from different countries. I guess foreigners are coming, so if you can enlighten that.
Yeah, so we have about 115 foreign delegates coming in this event from different countries like China, US, Singapore, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and from different techs. Like there's a hardware company called NEC. So NEC Japan.
NEC, yes.
So their director is coming in to the event. We have Commodore Security. Their regional people are coming in as well. Google's team from Singapore is coming in. So we have a lot of people coming in from various Zohos. People are coming in. So a lot of tech companies, a lot of software companies. We have a lot of investors coming in as well from Pakistan and from the region as well. So it's going to be a good mix of people from all around the world and Pakistan that will be engaging in themselves in ITCN.
All right.
I think that pretty much minimizes searches on LinkedIn to connect with people.
Yes.
So just 3 days you get to network with a lot of people.
And I encourage people.
It's all about networking. If you're here to find people, find investors over there.
Absolutely, and I encourage people to just See, we as a society, we're very afraid of networking.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to network. I remember my father telling me when I was a kid that if you're a CEO of a company, right, and maybe a small company, and you want to make the CEO of a big company, just pick up the phone.
Yeah, just go and answer. Just go and ask a question.
Yeah, that's how you get business, right?
I heard someone saying a stupid question is a question that is a no question.
Exactly.
No question is a stupid question.
Absolutely. No question is a stupid because at the end of the day, what is the worst that can happen? Either they won't pick up the phone, or they will say, "I don't want to talk to you." Right?
Yeah.
That's it. Move on.
Move on.
So we need to really, our youth needs to really
you don't know when the
yes.
opportunity is coming towards your way.
Absolutely. So these events, people expect to get networking. Of course, if I go stand outside someone's house, that would be rude, right?
Yeah.
But these events are the opportunities where people
connect with.
who you want to connect with come with the understanding that they will be approached. So use these events for network. That's the most important thing, I think.
Agreed.
You mentioned that people of Karachi are very enthusiastic. So what about does this conference take place in Islamabad, Lahore, any other city apart from Karachi? And how does this goes?
Right. So for the last couple of years, we have started an event. We did an event in Lahore. We get an amazing response from there. As Lahore is like a very vibrant city.
Yeah.
So we had a very good response. Then we did one in Islamabad this year in February. And again, we were very pleasantly surprised. We really saw that people around in Pakistan, they'd love to meet people and they would love to do business together. It's the only problem is we don't know what other people are doing. So people in Karachi don't know what people in Islamabad are doing. People in Lahore don't know what people in Islamabad are doing.
Exactly.
So we need to connect them all. So I think these events are the best opportunities to connect them all. We have a lot of people coming in from Lahore and Islamabad and different cities. And not only the tier 1 cities, the tier 2 cities like Hyderabad.
Oh, really?
Different, we have. So we make it a point. There's startups coming in from Gilgit-Baltistan.
Oh, that's
We want people from all walks of life, all corners of Pakistan to come to this event and then experience networking because that is what they can't get in their cities, right? So ITCN is a platform for everyone from all walks of life and from all cities.
So basically, you got your narrative is like bridging the gap.
Absolutely, we believe that, and we love to host. Karachi is a good host.
Yeah.
So we are hosting people from all over the country.
Amazing, beautiful.
Since post-COVID, we're actually seeing a boom in technology, and obviously we have Google coming this year. So a lot of new technological advancement. We can see NFT, cybersecurity, AI, all of these technologies. Don't you think that our foreign investors or foreign companies are inclined towards Pakistan, but based on the current political and economic condition, that's a stop or a comma for these companies? Do you think it's actually?
I think it's a comma, more of a full stop. Right?
It's a comma.
Yeah, because see, a businessman around the world will go to any country they see a business opportunity in. And Pakistan has a lot of business opportunity, and people know that. This is why they don't give up on Pakistan. They just wait for the things to get better, some semblance of sanity, and then they come back in. So I think right now a lot of good things are happening in Pakistan, and I know you might be surprised, but trust me, there's a lot of good things are happening. And once somebody asked me, I usually don't talk on politics, but somebody asked me in a country that how do you see the politics of Pakistan? I told them I see that as a Hollywood movie, right? And so it doesn't matter. They're doing what they're supposed to do. As a business
That's
community,
such a positive response.
we should do what we are doing.
Nice.
And we believe in people-to-people contact. And the best way to have people-to-people contact is through these events. There are so many events happening in Pakistan, so many good events happening.
Exactly.
Some we are doing, some there are other people doing as well. So I think these are excellent opportunities to promote the Pakistani image globally. And so we believe in that, and we really believe, no matter what the conditions are in Pakistan economically, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
See Karachi, right?
Yeah.
Do you tell me on weekends, do you see any restaurant empty?
Never.
I was actually talking to my wife. She actually went to one of the restaurant, and it was like, Hamad, it was fully packed. मैंने कहा यार ये मुल्क के हालात कैसे चल रहे हैं? And I was surprised it was fully packed, and she has to wait 30 minutes in order to get the reservation.
So I might get some flack for this, but we always tell people, the foreigners especially, the government of Pakistan is poor, the people are rich. So
we don't have rich, but the people are actually rich. Yes.
So
and I guess that is we don't pay taxes. That is one of the reasons.
Unfortunately, yes. But see, this situation is not unique to Pakistan. There are many countries in the world with that, and there are foreigners doing business with them. So this is why more B2B business can happen, because the businessmen in Pakistan can afford to do business with different countries.
Yes.
So this is what we are trying to do: connect the businessmen directly, rather than having G2G projects.
Exactly.
We're focusing on B2B.
B2B.
So that is the success story I think that Pakistan can do, and through exhibitions and events, this is something that can be achieved very quickly.
Very quickly.
Beautiful.
Okay, let's, we talked about all around, let's just talk about Sir Umair Nizam. Like, we would love to know about you. What's your background, and what made you, you've been doing this for like past 14 years and you've been consistent about it. So we would love to know about you and, about your journey.
Yeah. So I it's funny. A lot of people would know this when this comes out. So this is, my father started this company about in 1983.
Wow.
Right?
Oh.
Yeah. So it wasn't an easy entry for me to the business.
Okay.
I entered this business in 2006, I think, yes. So what happened was that, my first job in this company was to clean the floor of the expo center.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's how my father was like, okay, I want you to go. There was an event happening the next day. There was some construction at the expo center. The expo center had to be ready in the morning, and there was nobody that could do that job at that time. So he came home, he told me, I want you to get people in. I want that place clean in the morning. So that was my first job in this company. And I'm proud of it, because that taught me that there's no job which is small. And that's what my father has taught me, right? Because even today, if I see in my event that there's a chair that needs to get fixed in a conference, I do it myself. I don't wait for someone to come and do it, because see, that's how entrepreneurs are built. I believe that
is exactly opposite to our current mentality. That is Setia mentality.
Yes.
That is exactly opposite to what it is.
So we have to understand that if you want to be an entrepreneur,
You have to
ego
do it
is something.
yourself.
Ego is something you cannot afford.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You cannot afford that, right?
Exactly.
So that's something that was killed on that day. There was no ego after that.
Yeah.
I was no more the son of the CEO. I was a person who cleaned up the expo center.
Was cleaning the floor.
Yeah. So I got about 50 people with me. And I did not know anyone. So I said, what do I do? So I asked my driver, who was a Pathan. I said, yeah, I need 50 people to clean the expo center. So he said, okay, let me call my chacha. He called his friend chacha, and then he called someone, and then we got 50 people.
So you have a team of 50 people, and you're the one who's actually leading the 50
we
people.
loaded 2 Suzukis, we bought some wheelbarrows, we bought some belchas, and then we reached the expo center to clean it up.
Nice.
So that was an experience that I will never forget. And always keep it close to my heart, because that taught me 2 things. One, there's nothing, and in the morning we got the venue for the event. So one, nothing is small. It mattered, right? That cleaning mattered. Number 2, no one is small enough. See, if it wasn't for my driver, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
So he helped me.
Kudos.
So that's the 2 life lessons that I learned that day. That you can ask for help, and don't think that anybody's beneath you helping you, right? Because anybody can help you.
Anybody.
So that's the life lesson for me as well.
Amazing.
So that was the day, and then I started working, and we started ITCN. So ITCN was happening before me. There were a lot of good people involved with that. And
That's so beautiful. You're so down to earth.
No.
That's really beautiful, man.
So and I learned a lot from them. And then when I started being the event director for ITCN, we tried to innovate. And in Karachi, things were not very good. Every day was a difficult day for a very long period of time. There was a stretch where things were not good security wise.
Yeah.
But we powered through. We thought, because foreigners come in our event, and if for a foreigner you postpone or cancel any event, they stop believing in you. So we said, okay, come hail, come storm, we have to do our event, no matter what. And we did. Alhamdulillah, this is why it has been running for 23 years.
Nice.
And we have been doing it successfully, alhamdulillah. So the ups and downs are part of business, right?
Part of it.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot. I learned a lot of things from this, So it's like, for example, right now people tell me, okay, what will happen if, the political situation changes? I'm like, I stopped worrying about things that are beyond my control. Because if you worry about them, then you can't do anything, then you won't be able to do anything, right?
Yeah.
So let's focus on the positives. I think in our country, there are a lot of positives.
Yeah.
We just need to focus on them.
Yeah. Alright. अच्छा, पाकिस्तान में जो ये concept है, whether to go towards a job or to do business, what's your opinion? Because you have a massive experience of 15 years, if you can share some highlights.
So I feel like, yes, of course, the entrepreneurship is a very cool I don't know if I can say sexy. But
Sorry if I'm cutting you. Sorry if I'm cutting you.
yes.
Pakistan, I guess Pakistan doesn't have this mindset of doing entrepreneurship or business. I guess यहाँ पे तो mostly jobs का ही है पक्की. और अगर business में आते भी हैं तो I don't see this idea generation thing. It's typical business, retail का कर लो, वो सब कर लो. Idea generation नहीं है.
Yeah. So I think I don't know why, but in the last 5-6 years we've made seeking a job a bad thing. Like people have now said कि यार तुम entrepreneurship नहीं कर, startup नहीं बना रहे. मतलब it's not a fad, right? It's like you open a startup if you really want to open a startup, not because your friends are doing it.
Exactly.
It's
right?
cool, yeah. You should go for a startup.
Exactly.
It's cool.
So you shouldn't do that. First of all, you should only open a startup if you have a good product, good idea, you've tested it out, and then do it.
And you have a good risk appetite.
And you good risk appetite. You have been in the industry. You understand the industry, not because you thought, okay, this worked in Bangladesh or India or the US. People work in Pakistan, right? Yeah. So that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
So I really believe that jobs, people should, of course, explore entrepreneurship. But I really believe to get the knowledge of the industry, which I think a lot of startups do lack, is because they haven't spent time in that industry. So I think they should first spend some time in that industry, and then start a startup in that industry. And I think a lot of people who've done that have been successful, but a lot of people who haven't done that have made great products, but when they went into the market, they didn't understand the industry, right? And I also believe that a lot of this has to be that, our states that you just said, they need to connect, or the startups need to connect with them.
Yeah.
Because they have built businesses.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine your Shan Masalas, right?
Yeah. But they actually don't allow other people to come into their management position. They have their whole Setia Khandani system.
That's okay. But that's okay. You don't have. I'm saying don't be a Shan Masala. It's okay.
No, I'm not talking about Shan Masala particularly. I'm talking about all the big companies or stuff like that. Yeah.
But you need to understand how did they build the business in Pakistan. It's not easy to build a business in Pakistan, first of all. Right?
Absolutely.
So you need to know that. How do you know that? It's either you learn the hard way, or you learn a little easier way, which is asking these people who have been doing it. So I think we, as a responsibility, as a community, all of us, we need to help these states connect with the entrepreneurs. Because I think that will really be the game changer. If they say, for example, someone like Akhil Dedi, mentoring a startup.
Yeah.
I mean, he must know everything and anything, right? Yes. So I think that is what is missing in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
That people have good startup ideas. They are very professional people, but they're not businessmen or businesswomen. So they need to connect with the right business people in Pakistan, and then understand how business is done in Pakistan.
Yeah.
So you can't run a business if you don't know how to run a business.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So you need to do that. So I think that's why a lot of startups are facing problems.
Yeah.
They have good products, but they don't know how to run a business.
Yes.
And they want to do everything themselves. They can't do that. So I think mentorship that way is very, very important.
Yeah. When it comes to mentorship, for these kind of people who are looking for this mentorship, how they can, connect with these people eventually, other than a new event. Obviously, they cannot just go to the LinkedIns and just randomly message them, and they cannot respond to that, because obviously they get so many messages. What's the perfect potential, way to connect with these people, other than, events? Ask them. Okay.
At an event.
This is what we're talking about. पूछने से कुछ जाएगा नहीं.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see startups going to Federation events or KCCI events, Karachi Chamber events. Why? Why does it have to be online? Why can't they go out, meet these people in person?
Yeah.
Mm.
You must have read stories of, these entrepreneurs in the 80s and 70s, how they used to stand outside offices just to meet the person that they want to do business with.
अगर कारोबार करना है तो शर्म किस चीज की. Have you watched that movie on Netflix, The Founder, Roy Kors?
Yes.
That guy used to fucking stand there for about 12 years just to sell that machine.
So see, we need to tell people that not everything can be done digitally. You need to go out there. You need to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
You need to ask the questions. What will happen? 10 of them will say no, but then maybe the 11th guy will tell you something. Okay, we'll give you the time of day. They might see your commitment. They might give you some good advice.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll give you one-liner. Maybe that would be the advice you need.
Yeah.
So they need to go out more. They need to meet people more at events, at these social events, and they're happening so many in Karachi. Not just exhibitions, just social events, and they're open for all. So why are we not seeing more startups go there? Because they feel like internet and LinkedIn and Facebook, that's it. So we need to come out of that world, because as a community, as our business community has not reached that level. I would not expect our big saints to be on Facebook replying to answers, right, or on LinkedIn. So they still do that physically, right?
Yeah.
So you need to reach out to them. You need to understand business from them. So if, for example, if I want to open a startup today in the field of, say, maybe pharmaceutical, like a pharma tech, I will first understand the needs of the pharma industry, right?
Yeah.
How do I understand that I need to talk to these people? How do I talk to these people? If I'm thinking with the product that I'm thinking, is it even a requirement of the industry? I need to meet them.
Is it a need or not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's so many pharma events happening in Pakistan, in Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad. So why don't I go and talk to them? Maybe a couple of them will give me the time of day and answer my questions.
True.
So I really encourage startups to go out, talk to them. I'm sure a lot of them are doing this as well. But there are a lot of them are not doing it. So they need to do that. They need to just, just be out there. And I think that.
I guess I have done a lot of small ventures, kabhi kuch karna, since past 7 years and 8 years, and yes, I've been failing all the time, and I hope down the road I'll be successful. What I came across, there are 3 different elements to a startup. One is the idea, the second is the execution, and third is the finance. I guess finance is the most easy. You'll get a lot of investors if you have good idea. What do you think where we lack among all 3? What I came across, I think execution, according to me, maybe execution is the most important, because you have the idea, you have a really good idea, but you're not able to execute it, and that's the reason maybe lazy hote hain, jate nahi hai, exhibitions nahi dekhte, logo se milti nahi, and we're not able to execute it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree with you. So like I have 100 ideas, but I've not executed any of them, right?
Yes.
So if I think execution is about 80% of of your idea. So if you have an idea and you don't execute it nicely, or if you don't understand how you want to execute it, then you will always be confused and not be able to do a good startup. So and I think I feel like I might be wrong. There are a lot of seniors in the industry that might disagree with me, but I feel investment shouldn't be the ultimate goal for a startup. I think now people have realized the raising has to be sane. It doesn't have to be crazy, right? And I think at the end of the day, traction is the king.
I guess finance is not the problem anymore,
I think traction is the king.
Yeah.
If you don't have customers, no matter how much amount you raise, it just won't be enough, right? It won't be enough. So I think we need to now really focus on how startups can scale in that way. And don't think about Pakistani startups. Think about regional startups. How do you want to be after 5 years, be a regional startup? How do you want to enter different markets? Not only Pakistan. Maybe Pakistan is a smaller market for your segment, and you want to grow. You can't grow in Pakistan, right? Because it's a small segment. Yeah. So maybe why don't I launch myself in areas which are similar to Pakistan? So that mindset, the regional mindset has to be there. So I think it's a learning curve for our startups. And I'm not discouraged at all by whatever has happened, the startups. Failures are a part of the game, right?
How do we recover from failures?
So see, that's the $1 million question.
Because once if someone is doing business, jo jinke paas achhi appetite hoti hai risk, they know that they'll fall. Yeah. If they're falling, that they need to know how to stand up again. But most of the people, they fall, they keep on falling, they don't stand up.
Find the right mentors, I would say, because I would rather have a mentor who would tell me in my first year that this is going to fail, rather than a mentor who would just push me and say, oh yeah, do it, let's do it, it's okay, you'll get through it. Because I think people need to tell the truth to the startups. I remember going to I think that was the only one startup judging thing that I was invited to, and then I wasn't invited to one anymore because I told one of the startups, he had an excellent product, and I just asked him, have you ever been, and it was a startup that was targeting villages. And I asked him, villages, like agriculture in villages.
Okay.
So I was like, have you been to these villages and talked to the people there? He said, no. I said, do you understand how difficult it is to sell to these people, and what is the system of selling there? You just can't go to someone and just sell it. No, there's a system running there. There's a parallel system which is not taught in books.
Yeah.
So he didn't do that. So, and I told them, I'm sorry, but you're amazing thing, but unless you need to do that, don't launch this or do something else. So he was very upset about it, and he was like, I'm sorry you're discouraging me. I said, no, I'm not discouraging you. I'm telling you the truth. So I think a lot of people.
I kind of skipped the one thing that now actually since after this answer of your the thing is research and development that we're missing. Like the idea, he said idea, then he said the second step, then he said the execution, then investment. But there's one step missing. That's research and development. But when it comes to research and development, what do we need to do? And for basically for the startups, like since you said in a few of the, if you go before, when you were saying like testing, so like how do we start with the testing and implementation of testing to measure that this product as a startup can be good and excellent, but we might fall as well at the same time. So what kind of research and development a startup needs and requires to execute just to sustain for another year? I won't say they're either failing or either getting for a success, but let's talk about research and development before executing the perfect plan or expanding the infrastructure whatsoever. So I want to know about that.
I think it's always good to go meet industry experts.
Again, same.
Yeah,
okay.
Industry experts. Yeah, I think they are the best ones to advise you.
Okay.
And yes, if you have a very innovative, disruptive product, I think why not go ahead, make a MVP, test it out in the market, but don't put all your dreams in one basket, right? Not your eggs. Don't put all your dreams in one basket. Just especially if you don't have a very large risk appetite, right?
Yeah.
So be cautious there.
Yeah.
I think it's being risk taking, but being cautious as well.
Yeah.
That's also what an entrepreneur has to be, right?
Yeah.
Has to be cautious. So I think that's what the startups, and I think a lot of startups have learned that over the years now, because I really believe that the startup ecosystem in Pakistan, when it started, everybody thought, what is this, right? I mean, वही बच्चे हैं, क्या कर लेंगे, क्या नहीं होगा. But there are so many people who made so proud, made us all so proud, right?
Yeah.
They've done so many good things.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, along the way a lot of people failed, but that's part of the system, part of the journey. Isn't there traditional businesses that have failed? Yes,
absolutely, yes.
So what is this that and it's also our society. When we see a failure, we call him a failure. Don't call him a failure. He's not a failure. He did something with his life.
Exactly.
Let's encourage him. Exactly.
We actually learn from mistakes.
Absolutely. So let's teach our parents to not call their kids failures. They're not failures. They gained an experience and they moved on.
Yes.
So there's so many startups that have failed. What happened to them? We need to know, right?
Yeah, we need to
know. At ITCN this time, we're actually having a session where we're having people who have done big things, but they failed. But they're now going to tell us what they did afterwards. How did they pivot? What new ventures have they started?
Yes.
How are they going to get us excited?
Yeah.
And they're doing very exciting things. So yes, we saw their failures, but we didn't see the way that they're, the years that they put in to gain that experience, and now they're doing good things and new things.
Yeah.
So it's part of the journey. We have to tell, our teachers, our parents, our families. So this is basically a start. When we say startup culture, I believe that a startup culture is all about not just what's happening in an incubator, it's about the society at large.
Yes.
So we need to prepare the society for the startup culture. Make them understand that failure is part of the game. This will happen. Doesn't mean that your son or your daughter is incompetent. It's because that's what happened, right? It happens. It's part of the process.
Yeah.
Even in jobs, I mean, is it a guarantee that a person will be a job forever?
Yeah.
No. You enter a job, you might get fired. You might get
move
laid off.
on. You move on.
So it's the same thing. You do a startup, you fail, you move on.
Exactly.
So we need to really help our startups become mentally strong. Because that pressure,
resilience.
That pressure is resilience. Yes, that's the word. So we need to make them resilient with all the negative things that they will be hearing along the way. और कुछ कमा नहीं रहा, जब शुरू कमाने का वक्त आया तो startup fail हो गया, job ही कर लेता. So भाई क्या guarantee है that the job would be successful? No, right? So we have to educate our parents, the society, that this is part of the journey.
And in startups, sky's the limit.
Yes,
sky's the limit.
And we need to. I really believe, my sister, she has a restaurant.
Okay.
She's a LUMS grad.
Wow.
But,
nice.
and she was our only sister of 3 brothers. So we were very surprised when she said, I want to open a restaurant. So we were like, okay, nobody in our family has opened a restaurant. So she has a small restaurant in DHA, and, she's doing street food from around the world.
Wow.
What's the name of the restaurant?
Basic.
Basic.
Yeah, so they do Taiwanese baos.
Exactly?
It's at Ittihad Commercial near Aisha Masjid.
Ittihad Commercial, Aisha Masjid aata hai.
Uske bilkul samne pe
Jordan,
in the rain of the Jordan.
Jordan.
The name of Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but you see, when she was doing it, we were all very scared of it. What was going to happen? She's the new business. So, but she was a confident woman, and I really believe sometimes that women are more confident than guys, right?
Yeah,
and that's the case, right?
That's the
when
case,
they put their mind to something, they really do it. They see, they want to put it till the end, which I think she did, and I kudos to her for it. I wouldn't have been able to do it, and she put in nights, she put in days, and kudos to my parents for letting her do that. Because you know our society, right?
Yes, exactly.
But Alhamdulillah,
that's a big
especially
deal.
my mom, I think, and I'm sorry, but I must say that whatever we have done is because of our mother. She's sacrificed so much for all of us, and she's really given us the support that we needed, right, at the right time. And of course, our father has been the guidance. But I think the role of the mother is just amazing.
Exactly.
But so for her, it was my mother who encouraged her to do that. And she was the first child who went out of Karachi to study. So none of the boys have gone out. So she went to Lahore in Lams, right, and studied there. So we were like, oh my God, you're allowing. So we all supported her.
But I must say, students of Lums are different. You know that. You know that.
Yeah.
हम इकरा वाले यार.
नहीं यार, but no, I feel, you know, इकरा वाले आपने कह दिया, but इकरा वाले जो है ना, वो entrepreneurship उनमें spirit ज़्यादा होता है.
हाँ ज़्यादा है. But at the end of the day, we are number one.
I might get flag. I might get flag for it again. But लम्स वाले ना वो job पहले ढूंढ लेते हैं. इकरा वाले जो है ना वो business करते हैं.
But मैंने एक चीज देखी, इकरा वालों में ना वो एक street smartness होती है.
Yes, that
क्योंकि
you need that.
because the culture that you're bringing studying in.
But in Pakistan you need that, don't you? If you don't have street smart, आपको ये streets ना.
From where have you done your graduation?
So very honest, I haven't graduated. This is the first time I'm telling everyone this.
Wow.
Yes,
this is for the people who actually think that degree जो है वो पैसा लेके आती है. No, it's actually the skills.
For 3.5 years, I was in. आपने सुना होगा Bistec University जो इल्मा बन गई है.
Yeah.
I was there, but my father got sick, so I had to enter the business at that time, take care of him. So I didn't finish that, and I regret it. I wish I could. I would have.
I don't think that you have to regret that.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the piece of paper, the degree won't actually get you anything. But हाँ, एक चीज होती है. But you would definitely recommend the viewers to actually get education because tarbiyat and talim.
So I wouldn't go that traditional way. But I would say, I mean, it's good to have a degree.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to have as a backup plan. Don't think that is the degree will get you success.
Never.
So as a backup plan, have a degree. But you know, your skills, the way you are, how you handle yourself, how you carry yourself, how you talk to people, that's what matters.
But I think, you know, having a backup plan, you know, doesn't get you anywhere. You just being always relaxed. But when you're on the survival mode, you just say to yourself, this is it? Or there's nothing, like do or die situation. To you in your head, you're like always like, I need to do this. This is my only purpose to do so. Like I was talking to this one artist and we were talking about that. He said, I never made a backup plan. Why didn't you? I wanted to do this, no matter what. Because if I made a backup plan for myself, I would have been relaxed over it. If I failed in this, I can go back. No, I want to keep trying the same thing. So it's like, you know, idealizing the same.
इससे मुझे एक चीज़ याद आ गई. If you guys know about Denzel Washington, उसका एक quote है कि no one should have a backup plan. If you're falling, do not fall on your back. Fell in the front. ताकि तुम्हें पता चले और तुम उठो. All right. So moving forward, I have this question: how important is the right team for the right job?
I think that's very important. I think if it wasn't for my team, at least, I wouldn't be doing these big events. So I think teams are very important. It's always good to have people. Not everybody should be, you know, an expert in their area. But I think a team that can gel together well is very important. Even if somebody does not have the expertise of an area, like, you know, if not very experienced in it.
Yes.
I think if they gel with you well, they'll learn. But I think that's the most key component, that people understand each other in a team. Because if you don't have the chemistry, no matter how, you know, if you have an A team,
yes,
still
exactly.
Won't be able to
I guess these two factors are the most important. One is you have to expertise in the area. वो भी इतना matter नहीं करते, but the chemistry. Because in Pakistan, मेरे बहुत सारे दोस्त वगैरह थे जिन्होंने startup start किए थे, and one of the main reason for failing that startup was कि उनकी chemistry नहीं बैठ रही थी अपने partners का. They were really good friends, but then again the chemistry was not sitting.
Absolutely. So I think chemistry is the number one thing that you look for when you're picking a team or making a team, and your visions, your goals should be aligned, and you know, So I think that's when you really click together. And when you click together, if you have a weakness, your partner will cover it up for you.
Yeah.
If your teammate has a weakness, you'll cover it for them. So that works that way. And if you don't have that chemistry, then no matter how amazing you are as individuals, you will not be able to do something successful.
Yeah. And for a startup, how important are unique value proposition that actually differs you from the competition? I think this is, for example, if you're coming with for a startup, do you think that people should focus on their unique value proposition that actually
USP,
differentiate from competitors?
Absolutely, I think that's necessary. You should have, if you're talking about a product, that should be unique. If as a person as well, like I believe that if you're in a startup and if you have everybody with the same personality, it won't work.
It won't work.
It won't work, right?
Yes.
So you need to have a critical thinker.
Yeah.
You need to have someone who's a risk taker.
Yeah.
So you need to have different personalities in a startup as well.
It's like we've been talking about the startups. Like I'm going to include another thing. Like I think it's very important to people know from you what it takes to be a leader and what are the traits that requires to be a leader.
Yes.
So to be a good leader, you need to listen. I think that's been said so many times by very great leaders. And I've learned from them as well. And of course from my father, who is my leader, right?
Yeah.
So I've learned that from him, that if you don't listen to people, you think that you know everything, you will never be able to do something successful. And I think that has been inculcated in us from when we were very kids, that start listening to people. Not only people who matter, anybody and everybody. So in my team, I don't think that only my managers or my general managers get me the good ideas. The good idea can come from
anywhere.
The solutions can come from the person who's actually in the field. They give you the best solutions because they know more than me, but I'm sitting behind a desk and they're out there getting their hands dirty, right? So I think be a good listener. And the second most important thing is a leader needs to have a lot of patience. So that's something that a lot of our leaders do not have. So patience is the key, not only to be a successful startup, but a person as well. So if you have in your family life, you need to be patient. If you're with your friends, you need to be patient. So I believe, and I've been taught this by my father again, that the three things that are important for a successful leader is patience, patience, and patience. And you believe that, Inna Allaha ma'a sabirin, right? That's been taught to us.
Yes.
So just think that if I am being patient, if somebody is doing bad to me and I'm being patient about it, so my Allah is with me. So what else do I need, right? So I think that's the key to everything. Just be patient. Your time will come. Things will get better. If things are bad today, they will get better. If things are good, say Alhamdulillah, say Allah ka shukr, and then move on. So I think that's very important to be in a leader and be content with things.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I think as leaders, sometimes we feel like, there's always, you can do more, you should do more, but there is no upper limit to more, right?
Yeah.
There's always, if you do this, then you need to do this, then you need to take it up a notch. So I think just be content at the end of the day that what you have done, what your team has done, has delivered this result, and that's good. And just be consistent about it. Don't think too much that, okay, we can. So you end up pushing your team too much, and then you end up pushing yourself too much.
Yeah.
And then, your family suffers, and then you suffer mentally and physically and all of that. So I think it's just be content with the things that you have right now. And then just move on. Yeah.
Perfect. Beautiful answer.
मार्केट में बहुत सारे लोग कहते हैं कि बहुत सारे लोग आइडिया लेके घूम रहे हैं. Startups, either it's a seed startup, either it's a Series A, or either it's a Series B. But in Pakistan, we have seen there is a big gap between these startups and investors. All right, there's no connection between them. There are a lot of people who want to invest their money. There are a lot of people who are actually looking for investors. If we talk about India, we have franchises over there like Shark Tank, where people actually come up and present their ideas, and we have a pool of investors. In Pakistan, I don't think that ये चीज़ अभी इतनी common है.
Yeah. So in Pakistan, there is this perception that there is a community within the startup community that has exclusive access to investors. This is the perception. Some say it's true. Some I feel that's not true. See, the investors understand that we feel like if I place myself in a startup shoes, I see an investor as this cash cow who I can just milk for money with my idea, and my idea is the best, right? So every startup thinks their idea is the best.
No, but you can actually talk about the terms and conditions. You can talk about the equity sharing, but I'm actually talking about where we are actually lacking. Because if you see, I don't exactly remember the name. जो यूरोप और यूएस में होता है, the same incubation, people actually come towards the left and they present their ideas and their investors talking, you tell them कि भाई मेरा ये काम है, ये मेरा ये काम है, मैं इतना I'm looking for these kind of funds and this is what I'll actually give you. Investors कहते हैं कि नहीं भाई हम इतना पैसे देंगे, हमें इतनी equity चाहिए, but these things are actually मतलब publicly, I'm talking about publicly, these things are actually happening in India. Like one of the main show is Shark Tank, but we are nowhere near to that.
So we have a person, Nabil Saab in Lahore, who started Idea Karodo Ka, if you remember.
Yes, Idea Karodo.
And I think that they are. I'm hoping that they will start it again very soon. And see, so you have incubation centers, you have accelerators, you have had, and they're doing their bit. They're connecting these startups with investors. But the problem is that this is growing. The ecosystem is growing. So it will take time for us to reach to that level that you say. So India has unicorns, right? We don't. So we are far behind. So we're catching up. I think it's just a matter of time when these things start happening in every city, and in public places where people this startup to investor connection happens in events, happens in incubations, but in silos. So I think there has been now
this is what ITCN is actually looking for. This
is
what you guys are doing.
So we actually have two different startup pitching competitions happening at ITCN. One is run by LMKT. The other is done by Plan 9 Incubation Wing. This is happening. So we're about 24 different startups doing that and investors sitting in front. But again, I would say that is being run by incubation centers. But the investors will be visiting ITCN. We have an investors lounge there. So if startups want to come and meet them, they're more than welcome.
Yeah, venture capitalism, we are angel investors.
Absolutely, they're all there.
We are growing, we are doing it, but slowly and gradually. We are down the road.
I think because, a lot of investors have a lot of problems in Pakistan regarding getting the money in, retaining the dollar accounts. So a lot of problems happening. So because of that, the progress is slow, but it's there. I feel in the next 2-3 years, we'll catch up, inshallah. Things are moving in the right direction. I think things will get better.
Since you said that instead of doing locally, we should move towards regional. In fact, if you're actually moving towards international, but in Pakistan, the main problem is there's a lot of different startups known as आजकल जिस तरह हमारे ये छोटे-छोटे लोग designs, website designs, logo designs, and they're doing building these softwares. सबका problem ये they have the right team, they have the right developers, they have the right salesperson, they have a really good model, but the problem that they actually face is how to get payments through international clients. Even the work is good, your money is competitive, but you don't have any medium to receive the amount because आप जितने भी banks की बात करो, and if you talk about the payment gateways, we don't have a single international payment gateway in Pakistan.
Right. So yes, that's the biggest challenge. One of the biggest challenges that we have as an industry. And there's an association called PASHA, the Pakistan IT Association, and they've been fighting this for a very long time. The current chairman has been fighting this as well, and they've been trying to get this done from the government. There are like for example, you mentioned PayPal, right? They have the
अगर PayPal पाकिस्तान में आ जाए तो I guess आधी से ज़्यादा problems खत्म हो जाएंगी, मेरी हो जाएंगी, तुम्हारी problems खत्म हो जाएंगी, because this
very
is
right. So I look at it from a different perspective. PayPal पाकिस्तान नहीं आएगा. Let's accept reality.
But what if down the road in next 5-10 years?
No, okay. I'm saying
अभी तो कभी नहीं आता.
So आज क्या करना है? So we need to find a solution for that. What is the solution for today? Okay, if there is no PayPal, how do we get payments in for everybody that is doing business in region? So we need to sit together. We need to discuss this as a community, as an industry, and then find out solution. And people are discussing this. But I think there will be a solution very soon. People are discussing this. There's a lot of chatter around this, and I think even if PayPal doesn't come for now, we'll find some stopgap arrangement that will help.
But अभी पाकिस्तान उस process में भी बहुत दूर है, because पाकिस्तान में भी fintech इतना proper तरीके से आई नहीं. Most of the year अभी सारा cash पे ही काम हो रहा है.
Yes, exactly. So you see 95% of our business is e-commerce is on cash, right?
Cash, yeah.
So we, and हमारे कितने, I think 2-3 million bank accounts हैं in this entire country. So that's a very abysmal number. So our documented,
it works collectively.
So our documented economy is very less. So if you're a startup like PayPal, for example, like a PayPal startup, it wouldn't make business sense for you to come to Pakistan, right? Because the payments नहीं हो रही आपकी digitally, so it will take time. So in the meantime, we have to find a solution. And I think that solution is around the corner. I think anybody can come up with it, find a solution. There is always a way. I feel that,
way to hai. I have seen some fintech companies that are actually offering these payment gateways. काफी हैं. मगर थोड़ा सा international पे issue आ जाता है because international clients they say that we don't accept any other payment options apart from PayPal or Stripe or to check out them,
No, I agree with you, and that's why people open accounts in Dubai and etc.
But we have, as you said, there's always a way out.
Yes, there is a way out, and I appreciate the tech community. They found ways out. In this environment, they're trying to hustle and trying to find their way out. So I think मुश्किल वक्त होते हैं चीज़ों के, but in time we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I think in the least question.
I have some few questions related to ITCN.
Sure.
What are the upcoming skills that students and people should learn, and if they're learning, how they can get some exposure through ITCN? Like koi fintech, cybersecurity, IT. Are we seeing some companies like from different domains in ITCN?
Yes. So we have a lot of fintechs participating. We have e-commerce companies participating. We have a lot of tech services companies participating. Like Systems Limited is coming. We have Abacus coming in. So you have these big giants.
I heard, I guess Binance was the showstopper in the last edition, right?
Yes,
yeah, Binance was the showstopper.
They were.
They're coming again?
No, they're not coming this time. Unfortunately, they're not allowed to come.
Any other? Oh shit! Any मगर Binance से आना तो दूसरी cryptocurrency क्या आएगी?
No cryptocurrency is allowed to exhibit now. Yeah. So, but see. जो आप बात कर रहे हैं our youth, right, who need to know, for example, if I'm in a university and I need to know what technologies I need to learn or harness when I graduate, right? So I think ITCN is that platform. Students are more welcome to come in. Come and see what Systems is talking about, what Abacus is talking about.
What are the technologies
what are the requirements? Are you even studying in the university what the industry requires?
Yeah.
If you're not, then you need to upgrade yourself while you're in university. So you need to do that extra effort. I think अब university के students को समझना चाहिए कि university की graduation degree is not a job.
It's not a job.
So it's not a certificate to a job, right?
Yeah.
You need to put in that extra effort because it's unfortunate, but that is how the world we're living in right now, right? So we need to make that extra effort. Online जाएं, look at these companies, what technologies, what job offerings are there, and then उसके हिसाब से सीखें. Reverse engineering इसी को कहते हैं ना कि job post देखें, आप जाके देखें कि बड़ी कंपनी की job post क्या है और वही सीखना शुरू कर दें कि आप 3 साल बाद जब 4 साल बाद graduate हो, so you have that skill. So I think that's important.
Agreed.
So let's wind it up, but before we do, if you can just tell our viewers कि अगर कुछ चीज़ को वो सीखना चाहें, the 3 to 4 domains, if you can tell them, अगर अपना time और चीज़ें किसी चीज़ पे invest करें, top skills पे, what would that be?
I think it's just Google it. I'm very honest, right? Don't hear it from me. Just go online. I think जो आपने शुरू में बात की ना, रिसर्च बहुत जरूरी है हर चीज पे. ये ना समझे कि आपको स्पून फीड किया जाएगा चीजें, आपको नहीं किया जाएगा. Exactly. See, fintech is the बहुत सारी आपको मिलेंगे इस वक्त flashy things, crypto is very flashy, but पाकिस्तान में आप बैठे हुए, क्रिप्टो आपका फ्यूचर इस वक्त नहीं है. आपका जो है ना फ्यूचर है कंपनीज लाइक एबेकस, लाइक सिस्टम्स, लाइक कॉन्टोर. दीज आर योर फ्यूचर. सो देखिए वो क्या कर रहे हैं. इफ यू वांट टू बी अ सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर, सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर, go see what they're doing. Talk to people, employees over there कि वो क्या कर रहे हैं, what are they discussing, what are they talking about, which technologies are they talking about. That's when you get the real feedback. And I feel like Pakistan में we are very behind in a lot of technologies, but there's a lot of good work happening. मतलब करीम का जो जितनी भी डेवलपमेंट है यही हुई है ना.
Yes.
So I mean, why do we undersell ourselves? I mean, we have some amazing people doing amazing work here. So आप जाएं, सीखें इनसे, understand them. Different जो हमारे लोग हैं, जो जैसे ITCN जैसे events बहुत सारे हो रहे हैं पाकिस्तान में, बड़े अच्छे events हो रहे हैं, उसमें जाएं और जाके just understand what's happening, what's current, and learn that. I think that's the best answer I would give. I'm sorry, but I'm not an expert on giving which technology they should go for. I think it's all
do whatever you
आप
like.
Chat GPT में डाल दें इस वक्त की क्या requirement है वो बता देगा आपको. तो वो अच्छा बता देगा आपको. Exactly.
True.
So I think that's it's very easy now.
बिल्कुल बहुत convenient आंसर था.
अच्छा बस थोड़ा सा बस ये What's your personal preference in food? Like any top 5
Food?
restaurants?
Oh my
Any
God.
top 5
Talk
restaurants in Karachi. We're talking about the restaurants.
आपने मेरी weakness यहाँ पे छेड़ दी. Food पे तो
थोड़ा सा
एक अलग podcast हो सकता है. So I am an self-declared foodie. Love to eat. So देखिए कराची वाले में बिरयानी अच्छी ना लगे तो ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता.
Top 5 biryanis.
So yeah, so biryani, and you know, I love to like. So my office is near Badrabad. So whenever I need to think, I go to Quetta Alamgir Hotel and have a लच्छे का
वो पराठा लच्छेदार पराठे मैं तो रोज ही खाता हूँ मेरे घर के पास ही है.
It opens my mind. Okay. So yeah, so I think food के अंदर यार I eat anything and everything.
So what do you like the most?
Biryani.
Yes.
The top one.
I mean, I do, yeah.
The top
Nihari, biryani, you know,
the top 5 biryanis in Karachi?
No, I will not do that. I will not do
that's
that.
a very tough competition.
I will not do that. Yes. Yeah, I really think, you know, food is very personal.
Okay.
Because, you know, everybody has their own taste
Different
preference. And this is why I don't, you know, I when somebody asked me, how do you rate this restaurant?
Yeah.
I will not be able to answer you that question. Because for me, maybe my taste buds are not aligned to what the food is being served in a particular restaurant.
Yeah.
But maybe aapko wo acha lag jaye.
Yeah.
So I think food is very qualitative. You cannot quantify it.
Yeah.
You're very smart with your answers.
No.
You're very smart with your answers. Okay, so let's go ahead and wind up this podcast.
Yeah.
Since we are a startup ourselves, so what do you think about EncycloMedia? How was your experience?
Yeah.
We are startups. Any suggestions for us?
To be very honest, it was amazing. You guys have, like I said, you guys have amazing chemistry together, and you guys are doing an amazing job. And I think this is something that, you know, I'm sure that, like you said, you're a startup. You're going to grow this bigger. And if let me know how we can be of assistance, and how we can enable you to grow this. And I think
हम आ रहे हैं ITCN आ रहे हैं EncycloMedia ITCN जा रहा है कोई ना कोई कुछ ना कुछ क्या कहते हैं नहीं definitely we are going to ITCN.
I think we would love to have you there. Let us know if you.
By the way, since you are over here, are we allowed to do cover the event? Because I was thinking that we can do some create a vlog with you. Is that okay?
Absolutely, it's a tech event.
Perfect.
अगर हम vlogs allow नहीं करेंगे तो फिर we criminal, right? So please come, enjoy, and also show your users, your viewers, the type of technologies that are there. And बहुत सारे लोग नहीं आ सकते, but उनके आपके through they will see it. So why not?
I think that would be a great medium.
Do you have anything to add?
I think we had just completed a wonderful podcast right now.
It was amazing. It was amazing conversation. Just before we go, people whoever is watching, do come to these exhibitions. These sort of exhibitions are taking place in Pakistan, and we need to promote this. We need to be there, not for ourselves, but actually for our country. You will meet different investors, as Umair bhai said about all this conference. Do remember the dates. The dates are from 31st August till 2nd of September. In order to visit this exhibition, go to their website, that is ITCNAsia.com, and you can go and register over there as a visitor. It's free of cost. Go there. ऐसी exhibitions में ज़रूर जाया करें. कुछ हासिल हो ना हो, definitely you'll get to know something. And let's wind it up. Thank you so much, viewers, and thank you so much, Mr. Umair, for being here. It was a pleasure talking to you. It was an amazing podcast.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for the next podcast. See you. Bye-bye.
See you guys. Bye-bye.